Home Minister Amit Shah visits violence-hit areas in Manipur, holds an all-party meet. Shah instructs officials in Manipur to strictly deal with activities disturbing peace and announces 10 lakh compensation for the families of victims. NDTV brings you a ground report of the devastation in the northeastern state. 11 international athletes from Manipur, including Olympic medal winner Mirabai Chanu, write a letter to the Home Minister urging him to solve the Manipur crisis, else they will return their awards and medals in protest. Protesting ace wrestlers of the country halt their plan to immerse their medals in the Ganga River after farm leader Naresh Tikait intervenes and takes away their medals. The wrestlers give the government a 5-day deadline to take action against Bridgeshwar Singh over sexual harassment allegations. He says, "I will surrender if found guilty." United World Wrestling threatens to suspend the Wrestling Federation of India. The international wrestling body says it's worrying how wrestlers were detained in Delhi and that they are disappointed that there are no results of the probe into sexual harassment allegations against Bridgeshwar Singh. Around 150 medical colleges of the country are likely to lose recognition of the National Medical Commission or NMC for inadequate faculty and non-compliance of rules, according to sources. The government finds there were no lapses in the high-profile cheetah project of the country after the death of 6 cheetahs, including 3 adults and 3 cubs, in just a matter of 2 months in Madhya Pradesh's Kuno Park. Our lead focus remains on the situation in Manipur, and Home Minister Amit Shah has directed officials in Manipur to strictly deal with any activities disturbing the peace in the northeastern state, as he held several meetings with senior officials of the police, the CAPF and the army as well. This as the Home Minister is on a 3-day visit to the state that has been hit by ethnic violence for close to a month now. The Home Minister held an all-party meeting as well and announced 10 lakh compensation for the families of those who have lost their lives in the violence. Meanwhile, a group of 11 international athletes from the state, including Olympian Mirabai Chanu, have written to the Home Minister asking him to restore peace or else they will return their medals. My colleague Saurabh now joining us from the ground from Manipur now. And Saurabh, take us through the meetings the Home Minister has had till now and the directions he's issued for the officials there.
Well, the directions of the Home Minister are quite clear that peace has to return at any cost, law and order has to be maintained, and then, of course, gradually the kind of disturbance that Manipur has seen, it is obvious that normalcy is not going to return in a day or a week. It is going to take time. And therefore, perhaps what the Home Minister will now look at is restoring normalcy. And even if it's a gradual process, what he's likely to look at is how and when things can start moving towards a degree of normalcy. That is the challenge that also the administration has. And the security forces are also going to play a key role in this, because currently, at the juncture that Manipur is, there is a clear-cut ethnic divide. And that divide has to be bridged, and it is not going to be an easy task. It's going to take time. And therefore, it's also going to need some very, very deft political handling, political maneuvers. And that is something that perhaps the Home Minister will be focused on. There is also a security part to it. That security part is perhaps what the forces on the ground, including the military, the paramilitary, will handle. And then you have, of course, at another level, the state apparatus. And those players are also going to be involved. So it is not going to be easy to go back to status quo in Manipur. It's going to be a challenging task, but obviously the Home Minister's visit and his spending this much time in Manipur is an idea of how seriously the union government is taking Manipur and how it wants to ensure that there is a degree of normalcy in the state and that normalcy is returned soon.
Right, and Saurabh, the Home Minister, is there in Manipur till the 1st of June. Thanks very much, Saurabh, for joining us with those details. And as Saurabh mentioned, it's a major challenge to bring the situation back to normal, as villages have been devastated and close to 80 people have died in the violence. Here's Saurabh Gupta's report from the ground in Manipur.
People lining up on both sides of the road as Home Minister Amit Shah's convoy drove into Turachanpur, the heartland of the Kuki community. One of the areas worst hit by the ethnic violence in Manipur, in which nearly 80 persons have been killed in the last 28 days.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah arriving in Turachanpur, and as you can see, lines of women here, of course, waiting to welcome him. But here's Mr. Shah's convoy that's just gone in.
We have raised this demand collectively for separate administration. And we have met the Honorable Home Minister in Delhi collectively by the MLAs of our community, and now the ball is in the court of the Government of India.
The destruction left behind by the ethnic violence is unbelievable. You know, there are homes that have been completely gutted. There are cars that have been gutted, while they've been parked inside buildings.
This once bustling town is now counting its dead. The district hospital mortuary has unclaimed dead bodies, including that of Niang Hoi Ching, whose distraught sister had this to say.
There was a gunfire, and then so on the spot itself, my sister died.
Earlier, the Home Minister met women traders at Imphal's famous Ima market and political party leaders who can help broker a peace. Pressure is building on the centre to come up with a solution. 12 sports stars from Manipur, including Olympic medalist Mirabai Chanu, say they will return their awards if there is no speedy solution to the violence.
क्यों आगे हम अपने देश के लिए कुछ नहीं करेंगे, कुछ कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं देंगे, हमारे अवार्ड भी वापस कर देंगे, यही मांग है. अभी हम शाम को अमित शाह जी से मिलने का है.
For now, 10 lakh rupees is being paid as compensation to the families of the dead, with a job being provided to next of kin. Small steps that address immediate concerns. What Manipur desperately needs, though, is long-term peace. With Saurabh Gupta and Sanjay Chakravarti in Turachanpur and Ratnadeep Chaudhary in Guwahati, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And the opposition parties have also hit out at the centre over the Manipur situation. A delegation led by the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge has submitted a memorandum to President Draupadi Murmu on Manipur, asking for a high-level judicial inquiry. Meanwhile, the Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has said that the centre should tell the country about the real situation and about how many people have died in the violence. Listen in.
पर जो मेमोरेंडम आपके पास है, जो हमारे अध्यक्ष खरगे जी ने राष्ट्रपति को आज सुबह सौंपा था, उसमें आप देखेंगे 12 पॉइंट है, 12 बिंदु हैं. ये एक 12 पॉइंट का एक्शन प्लान है कांग्रेस पार्टी की ओर से, ताकि फिर से मणिपुर में शांति, सद्भावना वापस लौट आए.
मैं तो बहुत दिन से बोल रहा हूँ कि आप लोगों को पहले ही जाना चाहिए था, लेकिन पहले लोगों को जाने का टाइम नहीं मिला. अभी गया, अभी जाके क्या करेंगे? अभी जाके वो लोगों ने तो पीस लविंग पीपल का साथ मीट नहीं करेंगे. कितना आदमी का मौत हुआ कोई पता नहीं है. हम ये चाहते हैं कि देश को तो बताए कितना लोगों को मौत हुआ, क्या परिस्थिति है मणिपुर.
And moving on, President Draupadi Murmu met the King of Cambodia at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. She said to the King of Cambodia that India is keen to further elevate its defence relations with Cambodia. She also emphasised on the need to make efforts to increase tourism and people-to-people contacts for further elevating the bilateral relations between the two countries. The President also added that India, in its presidency of G20, has been spearheading the interest of developing countries of the Global South. And in another important meeting, President Draupadi Murmu met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a one-on-one meeting. This was the first meeting of the President and the Prime Minister after the inauguration of the new Parliament on Sunday. After that, this is the first time that the President and the Prime Minister are meeting. Remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had inaugurated the new Parliament on Sunday, while there was criticism from the opposition that the President should have inaugurated the Parliament instead. And moving on to the other big story, protesting ace wrestlers of the country have halted their plans to immerse their medals in River Ganga in Haridwar as a part of their protest demanding the arrest of BJP MP and Wrestling Federation of India chief Bridgeshwar Singh over sexual harassment allegations. This as farmer leader Naresh Tiketh intervened and took away the medals and stopped them from giving the medals away. The wrestlers have now given the government a 5-day deadline to act against Bridgeshwar Singh. Listen in to what the farmer leader said.
शांति के तरीके से धरना देना कोई गुनाह थोड़ा ही है। हम कभी हिंसा में विश्वास नहीं करते। उनकी बेटियों के मन में क्या बीत रही होगी, उन पर उन्होंने कितने अरमान होंगे उनके, और इस तरह की धरने पे अपनी असमत बचाने के लिए हमारे साथ इस तरह की हुई बातचीत बड़ी शर्म की बात है।
And the protests by the top wrestlers of the country have received international criticism for the government in India as well. The United World Wrestling has threatened to suspend the Wrestling Federation of India if the Wrestling Federation of India doesn't hold elections in time to elect a new president in place of Bridgeshwar Singh. The international governing body for amateur wrestling that oversees wrestling at the Olympics has said that it's worrying how wrestlers were detained by the police in Delhi, and they say that we are disappointed over the lack of any results to the investigation over the sexual harassment allegations made by the wrestlers. But the government has been largely silent over the last month as the wrestlers have been protesting against the BJP MP. So why is the government not intervening as the country's top wrestlers are protesting, have hit the streets for the last 1 month? The government hasn't spoken on record, but my colleague Megha Prasad spoke to sources close to the government, and here are the details.
While the government's completely tight-lipped on the wrestlers' protest, sources close to the government are asking a few questions and also stating a few facts. First, why was a complaint not registered earlier if the alleged incident happened about a decade ago? In fact, they go on to say that the Delhi police has already registered 2 cases against Bridgeshwar, as was demanded by the wrestlers, and the probe is still on in that case. But despite that, the protest of the wrestlers have not ended. These are the questions that are being asked. But apart from that, sources are also telling us that from the time the wrestlers started their protest, their agitation, this time, a second time in April, they have been given all permission that they sought for. They were allowed to sit in Jantar Mantar, which is a prohibited area, for about 38 days. It's still continuing. And despite the demand in the FIR being met, the protesters are not ready to leave that place. In fact, they went ahead and, took out candle marches in India Gate, in the Gurudwara area of central Delhi, in Connaught Place. They were not stopped by Delhi police, but the Delhi police actually had to intervene at a time when they were breaching the security and wanted to march towards the new parliament this Sunday, when section 144 prohibiting people crowding in one place was already in that area. So they were not only breaching the rules but also going against this section 144 and violating the law. The wrestlers, of course, they have been saying that they have won medals and accolades for this country, and using that as one of the reasons to impress upon the fact that because they have brought medals back for India, their statements and their words should be taken as the final word, and on the basis of that, action should be taken against Bridgeshwar. While sources close to the government say that law is the same for everybody and it won't be changed for one section of people, and however, the investigation which is happening as per the law. The Delhi police is carrying out the investigation, and the same legal system is applicable for everyone. No one is above the law. Finally, we are also been told that there are very senior officials in the sports ministry who have constantly been engaging with these wrestlers, the ones who are protesting, the ones who are supporting them since January, and assuring them that necessary actions will be taken, and yet the protest is still on.
The BJP MP Bridgeshwar Singh, meanwhile, who's facing these allegations, is still defiant. He questioned why did the wrestlers hand over their medals to the farmer leader Naresh Tikait. Along with that, he also said that I'm ready to surrender if I'm found guilty. Listen in.
वेतन पर FIR हुआ है, जांच चल रही है। अब उसमें हम उनकी क्या मदद कर सकते हैं? अब आज मेडल फेंकने गई थी, मेडल मतलब डालने के लिए गई थी, फिर गंगा जी में, अब गंगा जी के बजाय टिकैत को दे दी, तो ये उनका स्टैंड, हम क्या कर सकते हैं? नरेश टिकैत सीधे तौर पे कह रहे हैं, वो हमारा नहीं, बस हमारा एक जो कह दिया कह दिया। आप अड़ी के अपने स्टैंड? अरे किस चीज पर स्टैंड मेरा? आपने कहा कि आप इस्तीफा ऐसे नहीं देंगे, आप क्या? जब तक पूरी, अरे हमारा तो कार्यकाल पूरा हो गया ना, हमारा तो कार्यकाल पूरा हो गया। तो गिरफ्तारी पर बात आ गई ना कि आपकी गिरफ्तारी, तो गिरफ्तारी अगर गलत पाया जाऊंगा, गिरफ्तारी हो जाएगी, क्या दिक्कत है?
And a Twitter war between the Congress's Jairam Ramesh and TMC's Derek O'Brien exposes the cracks in Nitish Kumar's opposition unity bandwagon. The two leaders faced off over MLA Byron Biswas's party switch from the Congress to the TMC. 3 months after Biswas defeated the TMC's Debanish Banerjee in the Sagardighi bypoll, he switched over to join Mamata Banerjee's party. The Congress understandably cried foul, accusing the TMC of poaching. And this isn't, in fact, the first time that the two opposition parties have faced off in West Bengal. On the 15th of May, Mamata Banerjee offered to support the Congress in Bengal to defeat the BJP. And within hours, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary hit back, suggesting that Mamata was cozying up to the Congress party because of its expanding footprint in Bengal. Listen in to what the two leaders had to say.
Wherever the regional party is strong, there BJP cannot fight. And where the peoples are very demoralized and frustrated, and for the incumbency and all these, so the strong party must be given priority. And wherever is the Congress strong, in their respective 200 seat or something, what we have already calculated, let them fight, we will give support, nothing is wrong. But they have to see that they have to support the other political party also.
आज जब कांग्रेस पार्टी की जीत हुई, तब उनको ये लगने लगी कि बिना कांग्रेस बंगाल में उनको आगे बढ़ना मुश्किल होगी, क्योंकि बंगाल में अभी कांग्रेस पार्टी की पकड़ दिन पे दिन बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। आज जब ये लगने लगे कि बिना कांग्रेस बंगाल में ममता बनर्जी की हालत और मुश्किल में जाने की हालत है, तो आप बात घुमा फिरा के बोलना शुरू कर दिए। सीधा तौर पे बोलो।
And moving on, around 150 medical colleges of the country are likely to lose the recognition of the National Medical Commission, or the NMC, which is the regulatory body for country's medical education and medical professionals. But why? For inadequate faculty and non-compliance of rules, according to sources. Now, already 40 medical colleges across the country have lost recognition, and they must show to the NMC that they are following set standards to be able to continue. The deficiencies were revealed during an inspection that was carried out by the Undergraduate Medical Education Board of the Commission for over a month, in which they looked into CCTV cameras and lapses in Aadhaar-linked biometric attendance procedures along with the faculty rolls. And now the latest on the brutal murder in the national capital that was caught on camera. After the murder of the 16-year-old girl in the national capital shocked the entire country. Now, police sources say that the accused Sahil has confessed to the murder, and he has said that he has no remorse and no regrets. Sources also add that Sahil has confessed that he stabbed the teenager 22 times as he was angry because she had broken up with him.